What the?
And grab. Today we're going to talk about how we had to write, direct, and act in our own short film. Do I look like a caveman?
This is all about working with what you have.
I do remember the day we sat down writing it together though, and this was probably the first short film that all three of us, me, Brad, and Ellis, have written together.
We wanted to do it in a way where it was low budget and we could have more that went onto our YouTube page. So the idea for Amazon Primal was it was going to be basically the flagship of this idea of these micro shorts. Then everything changed when the pandemic attacked.
And we decided to shoot it ourselves. We play all the roles, we shot, edited, did everything. Other than the score, we worked with our boy Phillips. I was about to say Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Shout out to
We
Brent.
got him on this?
And he's dead, y'all.
Goodbye.
Musically, the film is kind of all over the place. The main music elements of the score are orchestral, so you have instruments like strings, woodwinds, brass. But the way that they're used changes throughout the film because you're not trying to give away too much of the story elements too early in the film.
And honestly, it came out so fluidly. Now granted that it's an insane short film and it's like the story is just nonsense mostly, but it's a fun story. I think it also has a lot of really cool visual effects that we were able to play with. And honestly, like we just got to get our feet wet acting in our own film. Action. Cut.
So we basically came up with these really eccentric characters that we were all gonna play. My character being a really douchey workout gym bro. Like, you gotta eat, sleep, live, breathe, gym.
Hey, stop eating like crap! Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you! God, eating your crappy breakfast cereal.
I was playing a very heightened version of that. It was absolutely ridiculous, but it was so much fun to play.
Of course, I was a caveman, I think just because I have a beard and long hair. And Brad played a similar version of himself, except Brad doesn't eat Frosted Flakes anymore. So that's the big difference here. We're gonna do some Foley sounds for our new movie, Amazon Primal. And although we have very good microphones here, we're gonna use the little memo recorder on my cell phone for the Foley sound.
Try and true.
And Brad's gonna eat Ruffles out of a spoon. Alright, cut. That was good.
I'm pretty much playing myself. I'm on my phone, Serial. I play a heightened version of my mom that it's not even like my mom at all. I love you.
I love you.
Mom, I promise I was not trying to imitate you in any way. You're a saint. I love you. I just played, I love you. Do you love me or something, son?
You all were kids once, so you've had Frosted Flakes. Well, we decided that we were gonna make our own cereal brand and we were gonna completely rip off, well, not rip off, but we were gonna kind of, oh, I forgot the word. Oh, this is a terrible interview. Oh no.
Leave it in.
Give the people what they want.
To design Tommy the Tiger, first I started with sketching him out by hand, and I pretty much looked at a bunch of pictures of Tony the Tiger, from Frosted Flakes, and then I also looked at other characters like mascots for school teams, stuff like that, and I sort of just started to combine all those. I sketched it out, and then I took a photo with my phone, pulled it into Photoshop, and I traced it by hand in Photoshop so I could get really nice clean lines and everything like that. Then I basically started painting it in Photoshop, and I had a version of Tommy the Tiger. I almost said Tony. Ooh. I had a version of Tommy the Tiger that we could now animate.
What we had to do was we used software from Adobe called Character Animator. And with Character Animator, you're basically able to import a bunch of Photoshop elements that represent left eye, right eye, nose, mouth, ears, hands, body. And each of those elements gets assigned to your body parts using the camera on your computer. So whatever movement I do with my left hand, is picked up by Tommy's left hand in the software. And we imported all the individual elements, and I basically acted as Tommy the Tiger, doing stupid voice lines like, "They're sweet!"
Man, we have some funny footage of us testing that thing too. We should definitely use that.
Hey guys, just hanging out here. You know me. Yeah.
One of the standout features of working on this film was the quick turnaround time. So I remember meeting with Brad and Luke over a video chat, and we basically had a spotting session. We talked through the musical elements of kind of what we were going for as far as style, and then from that point there were only a few weeks until the whole thing had to be ready to premiere. So the scoring process happened very quickly. And on a project like this, you're not working with a live orchestra, you're working with virtual instruments. One of the things about working with virtual instruments is that you try to make them sound as realistic as possible. So you really have to tweak a lot of things here and there, really small things, to get the sound to be like a real orchestra. And that really takes time. But that's one of the best ways to score a film. When you have clear communication with the directors, when they have a clear vision, as a composer, you can take all of that and sit down, get things recorded, and really get the work done.
What is this?
In the VFX world, a lot of times you'll have stuff like Marvel superhero movies where their visual effects are meant to be seen. Then there's the other side of visual effects where it's stuff that's not supposed to be seen by the audience. Think David Fincher, Gone Girl. There's a scene where gummy bears are being thrown between actors, and every single gummy bear that's thrown is a CG gummy bear, but you don't think about it because you're existing in that space and your suspension of disbelief for the movie is there. So if it doesn't look like it's pasted in, then the VFX artist did a good job. The reason that they do this is because pulling this stuff off on set is so much harder. This stuff is something that would eat up a lot of time on set, and so VFX makes the filmmaking side of it, the production side of it, a lot easier. And so we encountered something similar to that on Amazon Primal.
Man, we had this idea that seemed pretty simple on paper, which was a slow push in on a box that's just been delivered, and that box shakes. It almost reminded me a little bit of Jumanji or something like that. Seemed really easy when we wrote that in the script, but then the more we tried to shoot it, the more we realized how hard it was going to be.
And shake. Open.
Finally, we decided we would just use fishing line because Ellis said, "Oh, that'll be easy. I can just paint it out in post." So I said, "Okay, if you're so confident, it's cool. Let's do that."
So it saves everyone on the production side a lot of time and heartache, which saved past me a lot of time and heartache. But then sit down in post-production, I'm like, wait, that's also me. Thanks, past me. And so I'm having to sit there and go frame by frame and just clone stamp and delete every single piece of wire for that one shot. And that one shot was maybe 300, 400 something frames, which means that almost 400 times I had to go through the shot, like zoom into the small pixels and just delete this fishing line.
One thing about Sozo Bear Films is we use a ton of cardboard. Pretty much anytime we order something, we save the cardboard just until it gets to the point where we're like, all right, we got to get rid of this or we got to make something out of it. So in this case, luckily, we made an entire room out of cardboard.
Luke, myself, and Ryan Guthrie, our intern at the time, were just setting up cardboard, and we built this little entrance that Luke could slide into. And when I come by with my phone to discover his character, I'm looking, seeing some weird stuff, and then I peer over and this caveman pops out.
The goal was to make it feel kind of like a cave, even though it's clearly made out of cardboard. So that involved kind of making jagged edges. And then for that last little touch of set design, basically I took a bunch of digital icons, things that you would expect to see on the internet, and I painted those on the cave wall in the style of cave paintings.
You feel like a caveman?
Yeah. I feel so powerful.
All in all, acting in your own short films, it can be tough, it can be challenging, but I think you learn a lot even as a director.
We don't get a lot of experience on this side of the camera, so it was cool being in the actor's shoes.
Because you know how to interact. You know their perspective just as much as you know the perspective behind the camera. And that's what really makes an awesome short film, is when you understand the roles of everyone on the set.
Hey guys, just hanging out here in my shed.
That didn't work at all.
A little bit.
Alright, back to 1.
Hello, I'm Mr. Lemon. Would you like to buy some lemons? I'll look around. Is anyone coming? Goodbye.